So if you could go back in time, what are the 3 pieces of advice you would give your younger self? Well, this is the advice I'd give myself. So about how far or how old would we want to go back? That's a good question because we don't really know how far we would want to go back. I mean, there are a lot of things we could change and how far back, you go too far back, then, people are you're just too young and you don't really know any better anyway. So how far do you really go back? For me, it would be the age 21 or right before 21. Because you have to understand that at this time, at the age 21, right, just before the age of 21, I had gone through boot camp, right? So I was a young guy, strapping, scrawny, because I was little. I just gone through boot camp. I was like 100 pounds or something. But nonetheless, it was good, right? 21 is a good age for me to go back and visit. Why is that? Because before 21, right, there's nothing I regretted before then. You live, you grow up, you experience many things. I was an overweight kid and I was shy, like a lot of people seem to be. And there I was, right? Starting off in a new career, actually being able, I'm taking control of my life and joining the military. And this is where I want to start this advice. So I don't know if I'd make a grand entrance or anything to when I'm meeting my 21-year-old self, but I know one thing, is that the first piece of advice I would definitely have to give would be to trust in yourself. Now you have to imagine at this age, I always wanted good things. I've always had that inside me. I've always wanted to do better. I've always wanted to work hard. I've always wanted to do the best I could. But like everybody else, I think we have this voice inside of us that tells us that we're not who we think we are, right? And that was me. And I'm sure there was a lot of people out there that are the same way. At the age of 21, you come into a brand new spanking world, you're ready to take it on, and then only to find out that it's gonna slap you in the face. Because it does that. Sometimes it does it a couple times. But nonetheless, 21 was good. And at this time, I believed in myself, but to an extent, right? It's like I always had bumper guards up, right? I try to control everything I was doing as far as allowing myself to put myself in positions to where I felt like I was in control, right? To feel like I could minimize whatever risk was needed. And I'll be honest, at this time, I wish I would have just trusted myself more and put myself out there more. There were a lot of ideas I had back then that I never executed on because I didn't fully trust myself. Now, if I could go back, I could just tell myself, everything's gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. You're a hard worker. You're gonna make it through no matter what. So you need to trust yourself. You need to believe that you have the skills, you have the tools, because you do. So get out there, put yourself out there, and do it. So after that first piece of advice, my younger self, I'm sure, would be like, do I really trust this guy? Who is this guy? And how come he did not make a grand entrance? Just showed up, some random dude saying it's me from the future. I guess so, but nonetheless. My second piece of advice I would give myself would be that I, myself, would have to read more, right? I'd be like, you're doing great. You went through tech school and you're doing great. You did some college and you've read a little bit. You're doing the average, just doing the average, 1 book a year. It's about what the average is, right? It's about what the average person will read is 1 book a year. And I would tell myself, you have to read more. You have to read a lot more. Because what I read now, compared to what I read then, it's quite a difference. So that's what I would tell myself. I said, you have to get more knowledge as soon as possible. Because there could lead to other opportunities if you would just open your mind up to more things by just reading more. And I'd be more specific about that. I would make sure that I was reading more, self-help books, more personal development books, because I needed that. I needed the structure that I didn't have then, right? Because I didn't really believe in myself. And I think that would have really helped if I would have only read more then, who could imagine where I would be today? But, you know, things are what they are, but that's why I'm here, talking to my younger self. So I know the last thing will be something all of us wish we would have done when we were younger. Now, this is definitely one I would have told myself would be that I had to start a business. It didn't have to be successful. I would keep trying to put those kind of expectations on myself. I just would say you have to start. Start now. Start many times if you have to, but you need to start now. Now, yes, I've tried many different things, but you know, I didn't really start the business. I was too afraid then. Too afraid. But I'm telling you, you need to start, and you need to push yourself, and you need to allow yourself the experiences of starting a business. You know, I was living in essentially in an environment where I was able to do that, right? I was able to live out my own and still attempt a business, right? Without really having to worry about if the business crashed and burned. I was okay, because no matter what, I was in the military, so I was taken care of essentially, so I didn't have to worry. So that's what I would have told myself. Start a business and fail many times, because that's okay. But you need to do it now. Get the experience now. Do it now at a very young age, because we're almost 21, right? Because we hit 21 just before we graduate, so 21, instead of going out and drinking and partying, you know what you need to do? Start a business. That's what you should do. So I make a grand exit because I didn't make a grand entrance, leaving myself with 3 pieces of advice. Now, would I have ever executed on any of those pieces of advice? I'm not quite sure. Probably at least 2 of the 3. But you know what? I'm happy who I am today. If I would have actually had that advice back then and actually done something with it, I don't know where I would be today, right? I don't know if I would be the same person I am today. And I'm grateful for the opportunities and the things that I have today that I don't know if I would have had if I would have done things different. Things all play out for a reason. It's the way I've always thought, right? Things happen and open new doors. So here I am today. I'm excited. Well, the advice would have been great back then. Probably would have helped me do things a lot better. But it's okay. Nonetheless, I'm here, I'm grateful, and I hope this was fun, because it was for me. So until next time, guys, ignite greatness.